seems like Jon Jones might have been talking shit and playing us all for fools this entire time, because he was just at a seminar in Thailand, Bangtan, world famous gym, and he gave one hell of an announcement.
When are you fighting Tom?
I was waiting for it. Governor. The UFC in town, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports, and right now Tom and I have agreed to wait for the UFC to make their announcements. So I'm legally can't talk about it.
Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall have both just confirmed, literally hours ago, that they're ready to fight. On separate occasions, both men came out and made it clear they want this matchup, and it's now up to the UFC to make the announcement official.
Well, you're a busy man. It feels like you're training for something, but obviously it don't seem like you can, get the guy to fight. Tom, we're getting straight to it. I mean, what are we waiting for? It sounds to me, recently I saw an interview where it says you and Jon are aligned, and you guys have decided together to allow for the UFC to tell you what you're doing. Is that true?
Nah, man, Jon's retired. What are we talking about, guys? Jon, you guys don't follow Jon on social media?
I don't follow him on social media. He said that...
No, me too, actually. Me too, but the guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. We know Jon's a religious man, so I want to say God bless him moving forward in what he does with his life and his career. And, we move on. We move on. I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to take on all comers, get this division moving again. Us guys have been waiting around too long. The contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So Jon's retired and it's time that we move on.
This is the greatest promo I've ever heard. He just announced his number.
Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall have each recently confirmed, just within the past few hours, that they are both ready and willing to face off. Speaking separately, both fighters expressed clear interest in making the fight happen. Now, it's just a matter of the UFC stepping in to officially announce the bout.
Jon is what I would describe is there's human beings that have different temperament and different minds and different mentality and a ruthless competitive drive that's almost terrifying to the ordinary person. That's Jon Jones. Jon Jones is a bad guy who's trying to be a good guy. Right. But that guy, if we were living 1,000 years ago, he would be on a horse with the biggest battle axe, waiting in the back, hacking heads off, and everybody would be running. And those people have always existed. These dominators have always existed. Yeah. But Jon is like a genuinely sensitive, intelligent guy who's trying to do the right thing. But he's a fucking conqueror. He's a fucking conqueror. That's the thing that's inside of him that leads him to be the GOAT. And without that, you don't get there.
When Jon Jones won that title at 23, it's just been destruction of everyone ever since. Never ducked anybody, fought all the best, destroyed everybody, dominated his division, went up to heavyweight, dominates at heavyweight.
So why?
He's just the greatest of all time. He's 37 years old and he's still the greatest.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fight happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. The one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. It's just...
In an instant, the entire MMA world lit up. For a long time, this clash seemed more like a dream than a real possibility. With all the injuries, contract disputes, social media jabs, and the ongoing confusion around the heavyweight division, fans were doubtful this bout would ever materialize. But now, it's actually happening. It's on the table, and the reaction has been electric. This isn't just another matchup. It's a moment that could define legacies. On one side stands Jon Jones, arguably the most decorated light heavyweight in UFC history, who has not only conquered one division but now sits atop the heavyweight throne after navigating challenges, controversies, and reinvention.
Who's next big heavyweight star?
Tom Aspinall, the guy who just won the interim title. He's phenomenal. And he is, again, the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem because he's a heavyweight and he's a big guy, a really big guy, but he moves so fast. And so his speed has always been like extraordinary compared to other heavyweights. Like, he just fucking moves in. It's all like fast, explosive movements. So he's got natural speed, but then he's also got a lot of training to execute quickly. So when he moves in, he closes the gap. You can see like he's fast for a big guy.
Right.
I want to see it so bad.
John was shitting all over Aspinall, saying that
I think
he was
that's
lucky.
a bad way to go.
He was lucky that he blew his knee out with Curtis Blades because Curtis was teeing off
Doing
on him.
well.
Unless John avoided him, unless John used his wrestling to avoid exchanges, you know what that's all about.
Correct. It's called the Shop Shutdown.
Shop Shutdown.
I saw a 7-part
They did with
series on
Cyborg.
it. Yes. The Stipe fight, which is just like, it's a weird thing.
Aspinall's an athlete, man. He's such a good athlete.
Freak athlete.
Very fast. Very fast for a heavyweight.
So fast.
Yeah, but we felt the same way about Cyril Gane.
Yeah,
but Cyril Gane doesn't have wrestling, doesn't have jiu-jitsu. Aspinall's like legit on the ground. Very legit on the ground.
So legit that his dad owned jiu-jitsu, Jim. His dad's a black belt. He started doing jiu-jitsu at 2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Aspinall is past the first round, right? Because we've seen him. He looks so fast. He looks, you're like, nobody moves like him. He looks like a younger Kane.
Right.
But he just keeps knocking these guys out so quick. So I'm like, let me see him past the first round to see if he has that cardio as well.
Get an idea. He was the one who delayed and delayed and delayed till Francis was out the fucking door. He could have fought Francis a long time ago. If he'd just taken the chance of going up to heavyweight earlier, we could have had him versus a prime Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was 240. Jon Jones is 260, 265. And you're telling me Cain Velasquez was too big for him? What a load of shit. Stipe Miocic could have fought him in his prime, another one who was no bigger than Jon Jones. So when he's giving it the big and being like, oh, well, people always think someone's going to come and dethrone me. And yeah, I get the narrative. That was the way at light heavyweight. There was always that next guy coming up. But you ain't never fought an animal like Tom Aspinall, who is as quick on his feet, who has the speed that he does at 260 pounds, who has the heavy hands that he does. You have never been in there with a beast like that. It's just not happened. I'm not saying that means Aspinall wins, but for people to do the Tyson Fury thing of going, oh, well, he's always won, so therefore he always will.
Love him or hate him, Jon Jones has a resume that few, if any, can rival. He's earned a reputation for breaking down opponents mid-fight, outsmarting top-tier fighters, and executing techniques that catch even the best off guard. Still, many argue that he's never encountered a challenge quite like Tom Aspinall. Tom isn't just about raw power, he's far from a reckless slugger. He's a strategic, well-rounded heavyweight with sharp fight IQ, capable of ending bouts both on the feet and on the mat. And he does it with impressive speed.
Jon Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall is athletic.
Aspinall is a great fighter.
Yep.
He's a good champion.
Aspinall.
Jon Jones will smoke Aspinall.
Yeah.
Smoke him.
I can't wait to see. I hope it happens. That's the fight that needs to happen. I think Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones needs to happen.
Why do you think there's so much friction there? Why do you think it's not happening? What? Because we see so much.
I think Jon Jones said he wants $30 million.
If UFC were to pay that, I'm sure they could figure out a way. You think he would do it?
Of course they could pay. They just reported earnings. Give me the exact numbers what their earnings was.
UFC brought in 1.4.
1.4 billion. We're in a situation where the company wants something from Jon Jones. They want Tom Aspinall to fight Jon Jones. Jon Jones says, I would like $30 million. Can you guys pay me? Yes or no? No, Jon Jones, we can't pay you. Perfect. The fight doesn't even happen.
I think that the UFC don't like to pay that type of money because you know how hard it is to train for MMA.
I bet if he's weighing 215, he would fight Tom Aspinall better than him weighing 245 pounds. In his 205 frame, he could fight Tom Aspinall better than he'd fight him at that 250 because that's not his weight class. While he didn't last long with Cyril, he didn't look as fast. He carried more weight. Cyril just did some weird stuff. And John, you don't make mistakes.
Aspinall moves with the speed and fluidity of a welterweight, lands strikes with precision, and makes every close-range exchange count. That's part of what makes this potential matchup so compelling. It's a clash of two complete fighters in the most unpredictable division in the sport. As for how this fight might unfold, opinions are split. Some believe Jon Jones' vast experience and cage control will tip the scales. They predict he'll absorb Tom's early pressure, use clinch work to wear him down, and systematically shut him down over multiple rounds. Supporters of Jones point to his history of defusing powerful opponents like Glover Teixeira, Rampage Jackson, and Daniel Cormier, arguing that, no matter the threat, Jon always finds a path to victory.
Jon Jones is now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And when he fights Stipe Miocic, and if he is victorious, then he has to face Tom Aspinall next. This is just the way the world works, okay? And if he refuses to fight Tom Aspinall next, then we got to start having a serious conversation as to whether or not this man should be stripped. Jon is the undisputed champion of the world. Tom is the interim champion. This is how it works. They face one another. He's calling out Alex Pereira for a legacy fight. That wasn't your thinking at light heavyweight. You were taking on all comers. And that is what a champion is supposed to do. Take on all comers. What I'm saying is sounds crazy. I'm not saying this as a Jon Jones hater. But if this was boxing, Jon Jones would be stripped. That's a fact.
I think Tom smokes it. I do. And I think Jon is probably very conscious of that threat as well. I'm not saying he doesn't think he can win, but he understands that this will be a tough fight. But they're all tough fights. They're all supposed to be tough fights.
On the flip side, many argue that this is a completely different kind of challenge for Jon Jones. They see Tom Aspinall as quicker, more precise, and more methodical than anyone Jon has ever faced. Critics point out that Jon is no longer in his prime, coming off a long layoff, and stepping into the cage with a heavyweight whose speed and explosiveness are on another level, something he's yet to encounter in this division.
And of course, it's been pretty interesting, all the stuff that Jon Jones has been saying to the media this week, and I'm sure there's more to come, but check out these.
You're beating guys who aren't even champions, and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion.
So Jon said I need to fight more champions, but this is the problem I've got. Jon is the champion, and he won't fight me. And he says that he won't fight me because it's too much of a gamble.
Aspinall to me is no difference than an Olin St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith. Be like just another up and comer that's exciting right now. And I'm not into gambling my legacy for what's exciting.
And Jon, if you're not into gambling your legacy, that to me sounds like you're scared of losing against me.
See, I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall is the best.
Who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if Jon beats him? Jon might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
Jon might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground,
Jon easily could, because we don't know how good Jon is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. We have zero
because
idea.
no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks that we don't know how good Jon is.
Right.
You can't tell me Jon's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet after being an older Stipe. That's not going to do it for me.
Right.
Aspinall looks fucking good, and he's in his prime.
Yeah, but Cyril Gane almost beat Francis. I know you can say the thing about the knee, and Jones just smoked him.
Went right through.
We also didn't know fucking Cyril Gane was a fucking 3-stripe white belt. That's news.
Some believe that if Aspinall connects early with the kind of speed and precision he's known for, this fight could end in a hurry. Even within the MMA world, there's no clear consensus. Fighters and analysts are divided. Joe Rogan has praised Aspinall's rare athleticism, calling him potentially the most dangerous opponent Jon Jones has ever faced. Michael Bisping has been vocal about wanting this fight to happen, firmly believing that Tom has what it takes to pull off a major upset. On the other side, voices like Chael Sonnen argue that Jon's deep well of experience, control inside the octagon, and psychological edge will ultimately give him the upper hand. Recently, Aspinall didn't hold back in an interview, where he openly questioned Jon Jones' legacy. He dismissed the idea of Jones being the greatest of all time, citing past drug test failures and accusing him of tarnishing his accomplishments. Tom emphasized that he's taken a clean, disciplined path to the top and expressed frustration over Jones stalling the division with retirement talks while others are ready to compete.